News hot off the press. It looked like the push that was heard around the world has cost WNBA player Chennedy Carter her career.
Chennedy Caitlin Clark is now suffering the ultimate price for Carter's push on her, which was more than simply a foul. It was career suicide. Here's where it gets interesting. The Chicago Sky are showing her the door without even giving her a core designation. Can you believe that? Price her job, her reputation, and potentially even her future in the WNBA. Carter went from being a rising celebrity to being unemployed in the blink of an eye.
When Tyler Marsh did the press conference, he talked about Angel Reese, he talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA, but he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
Chennedy Carter, who is already on her third team, has a propensity for causing trouble, as we all know, and this time, she went in a direction that nobody anticipated.
When she took it upon herself to put her filthy thug hands on WNBA player Caitlin.
Yes, that's correct. Imagine shoving the league's golden goose, and you know you're in serious danger. Let's get started on what actually happened when Chelsea Carter touched Caitlin Clark. This wasn't just any game. It was the moment that changed everything. This incident sent shockwaves through the WNBA.
Inspired between Carter and Clark.
Did you see that there was already tension on the court? We've got some exclusive footage that will blow your mind from angles you've never seen before, demonstrating exactly how it all happened. Sky High, the Chicago Sky, and the Iowa Hawkeyes were fighting it out, and everyone was on edge when Carter suddenly dropped the B word and shoved Clark, taking things to a whole new level. You can see the intensity in her eyes, the split-second decision that would come back to haunt her.
That push right there was that right there, I believe, was the push that altered her career. And I'm telling you right now, it is not looking good for Chennedy Carter.
You can see the players' shocked expressions and hear the gasp coming from the audience. One player who was there commented, "I've never seen anything like it." Caitlin's expression suggested that she was in shock over what had just transpired. Caitlin herself revealed that I was in complete shock at that moment, feeling the shove and feeling as though time had stopped. I was unable to comprehend what had just transpired, but this is where things become very intriguing because what followed truly sealed Carter's doom. The crowd erupted in alcohol.
But calling someone the B word while literally freaking winding up for a cheap shot. Yeah, that has to be taken into account. And then after the cheap shot, staring over and saying something before walking away. Like, you can't give, like, that is 3 separate technical foul occasions.
Since the WNBA also considers how you conduct yourself off the court, everyone is now wondering if Carter just threw her entire career off a cliff. At the moment, Carter isn't exactly winning any popularity contests.
Her future was not going to be very bright, bruh. Now, a lot of people was kind of surprised by this. I'm not, because I know, you know what I'm saying? What she did to Caitlin Clark was completely unnecessary. And I'm here to tell you guys, she's living with that decision today because she is without a job.
Some prominent scouts were in the stands that day, and one of them told us that it's not just the push, but also the mindset, because in our league, we're looking for guys who can manage pressure and serve as role models. We don't want a franchise player based on what we've seen that day.
Right.
You're jealous.
Bigger
that
ratings.
Was a Bush League play, and it needs to be addressed. That was a flagrant foul. That was unnecessary. Flagrant, anything deemed to be unnecessary. I need somebody to explain to me, why was that necessary?
Carter had an opportunity to correct the situation after that startling push, but instead she turned to face the reporters and exclaimed, "I didn't say anything on the play before bumping into Caitlin." Can you believe it? No regrets. She seems to have assumed that if she ignored the issue, it would go away, but this is where it becomes really interesting. It didn't go away. Instead, it became worse. There is no explanation, nothing.
She turned to you a little bit after the FIFA
I
score.
didn't answer no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough. Okay. kind of on the play before bumping in with Caitlin.
As y'all heard there, man, Chennedy Carter let it be known she was not answering any Caitlin Clark questions. And I'm telling you right now, she probably wish she should have, because she's without a job.
Now, you might be thinking, well, she's a star player, so that must mean something. But evidently not when the general manager of the Chicago Sky dropped this shocking revelation.
Chennedy Carter had an incredible season for us last year, but in a statement provided by the Chicago Times, she's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level. In our league, we absolutely appreciate what she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and will make changes to our rosters. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
Furthermore, it's not only Reese. The team's insiders are leaking information, and it's hot. They claim that some of Carter's teammates don't even want her on the team any longer. Can you picture going from being a standout player to a non grata in that little time?
I mean, look, maybe she's part of the culture problem. But that's very interesting. You know, I assumed, I'm not going to lie to you, I assumed the Chicago Sky was going to bring her back.
Let's now discuss the decision to not extend Carter a qualifying offer in the WNBA, which is essentially unprecedented for a top scorer. It seems as like the Sky is saying, we'd rather have no one than have you. Ouch, that must hurt.
They said Chennedy Carter not getting an offer from the Sky means one thing. Someone influential in the locker room did not want her on the team. You never let your best offensive player and arguably your best player walk away from nothing unless there are locker room issues.
However, this is when things start to become really insane. Some people claim that this is about the WNBA's future as a whole, not just the locker room, or even that push. Give it some thought. By pushing Clark, did Carter unintentionally drive herself out of the league? If so, here's the situation. Caitlin Clark is currently the golden goose, drawing in fans and possibly even securing a higher contract for all the players. Carter is currently an unrestricted free agent, but surprise, no teams are lining up to sign her. You would assume that a player of her level would have teams vying for her attention. The information we learned from insiders from each WNBA team is completely startling.
I mean, she can score with the lights out. I mean, she's pure offense, a pure shooting guard, scoring guard. An instant offense. But if you're a team, do you really want her on the team? I wouldn't.
It gets even stranger when we dig deeper and discover a hidden clause in Carter's contract with the Chicago Bulls. One team executive didn't mince words when they said, "I kid you not, we wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole." Can you believe that this is a professional athlete? We're talking about not some toxic waste. Go Sky, you may be wondering why a contract clause is so important. Well, let me tell you, this isn't your typical fine print. The reason this clause was there in the first place is pretty intriguing. It seems like they were anticipating difficulty from the start. This clause made it very easy for the heavens to let her go. It's like they had an escape hatch built right into her bargain.
Whereas no team wants the cancer in the locker room. Okay, so that raises a great question. Is anybody going to want her? Maybe that's the best question. I mean, certainly there's real attitude issues.
And Carter's representative is currently frantically attempting to preserve her professional image. She has changed and learned her lesson, but it appears that no one is buying it despite the frantic phone calls and desperate presentations she is making to every team in the league. Carter is the potato that everyone is scared to capture in a high-stakes game of hot potato.
This is what Annie Cristobal stated as well. No qualifying offer sent out to Chennedy Carter means she will be a free agent to test the market as an unrestricted free agent beginning tomorrow.
But wait for the real shocker. Some teams are calling Carter a locker room cancer. This isn't just a warning sign. It's a whole red banner with flashing lights. In the world of professional sports, being called a locker room cancer is like having a large "don't do that" sign placed across your forehead.
And I'm telling you right now, a lot of people and a lot of owners is not finna pick her up because of her attitude.
We must now ask the crucial question. Is this really the end of Chennedy Carter's WNBA career? She is undoubtedly talented, but when you have her kind of reputation, it seems like she is perched on a precipice and every team in the league is regressing significantly.
There. Someone said, whoa, she must really had a bad attitude.
Yes, that's correct. Caitlin Clark is transforming the entire league, not just the game, which is why everyone is talking about her so much. We have the inside scoop on why this is so important, so here's the scoop. Not only are fans taking notice of Clark's rising popularity, but the WNBA's top brass are also paying attention because Clark is attracting viewers like nobody else's business, which, you know what, means more eyes, more revenue, and more opportunities for the league as a whole.
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is the reason these ladies is potentially, allegedly, possibly about to get the biggest payday of their lifetime, with the NBA stepping in to help them get this new collective bargaining agreement potentially done. Then we got the media rights agreement done, which is like $3 or $2 billion. That money could possibly help them get larger contracts. And what Chennedy Carter put her filthy palms on Caitlin Clark did not help her case.
You may be asking yourself, well, she's popular, but can one player really change everything? Well, let me tell you that it's more than just her on-court prowess. It's also about what she stands for. Clark's rise to prominence in women's basketball is giving her significant negotiating leverage.
The Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year, and the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics at just over 400,000. So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their games than any other team.
We have discovered some interesting information regarding the ongoing negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement. And guess what? Clark's name keeps coming up because her prominence and success are crucial in advocating for improved pay and conditions for all WNBA players. However, this is where things get really interesting because the league isn't just talking about money, they're also thinking about making some significant changes to the way they handle player conduct. And let me tell you, it's directly related to that push incident we've been discussing. Our sources inform us that there are talks about enforcing stricter rules and disciplinary measures, as it is all about preserving a positive image around elite players like Clark.
Regular season, sales of WNBA merchandise are up over 500% versus the same period last year, with fan gear sales over the first half of the season at the highest in league history. Player-specific merchandise, including jerseys and t-shirts, have seen a staggering 1,000% increase in sales. Additionally, sales of league-specific merchandise like the popular orange WNBA hoodie are also up 200%. The top-selling WNBA player merch, Caitlin Clark, #1 in jersey sales, Angel Reese 2, Sabrina 3.
What does this signify for guys such as Carter? Then, things don't appear to be going well. The league is making a strong statement. Pushing the wrong buttons, or in this case, the wrong player, could result in you losing your job.
Very rough. She's on, I believe, her third team, maybe fourth team. I think her third team. And if it's not her fourth team, she's already planning on her fourth team.
But let's return to Clark for a moment, because her influence goes far beyond simply changing the rules. According to experts, players like her play a key role in determining the league's economic landscape. We're talking about bigger contracts, bigger media deals, and more sponsorship opportunities overall. It's as though Clark's popularity is a rising tide that is improving the WNBA, and the league is aware of this. They're using her star power as leverage in these negotiations to secure better deals for everyone involved. Can you imagine the pressure she must be feeling knowing that her success could mean better compensation for all of her teammates? While Clark's star continues to rise, Carter's career is in jeopardy, but their individual journeys are not the only thing at stake. Imagine that one player creating waves without ever setting foot on the court. Clark's popularity might revolutionize the WNBA and could result in higher wages for all players in future contract discussions.
Right now, it is not going to be an old happy day for Chennedy Carter tomorrow because she thinks that somebody's going to suck at her. And I'm here to tell you, dog, I don't believe no team is going to touch her with a 12-foot pole. She is a diabolical locker room.
The landscape of the NBA is evolving, and we're all courtside for the action. Will the league's future be altered by this change in star power? Will Clark's influence last beyond her playing career? Will Carter make a comeback? Please share your thoughts in the comments section.
Caitlin Clark was completely unacceptable.